And we are live, and welcome everyone to this Sunday afternoon. And I have the absolutely gorgeous and getting more gorgeouser Kel Porteus today. So welcome, Kel, and why don't you say hi to everyone?
Hi.
Yeah, great. So Kel, you were on with me before. This is probably a year and a half ago, and we was looking about your amazing transformation journey from pretty much being crippled in a wheelchair with no hope to just this time you were just starting to go to the gym, and you went to to go and have a look, and this is about a year ago, just to have a look around and see what you thought. So why don't you give us a little bit of a backstory, just to catch some people up, and then what's happened in this last 18 months?
Well, I was still feeling it then, obviously, and wanting to lose the weight as well, which I've achieved a lot of weight loss since we last spoke, a good 3 stone at least. I was still stumbling on how to get my body into that fitness mode, because I'd obviously changed a lot on my road and eating habits and everything else, and changing everything to natural. But basically, I finally got there, getting there I've even sacked in the gym. I've been at the gym for quite a while, but I've sacked it in because now I push myself every single day to get up and actually work out. And some days I do it twice a day. And I'm just loving it. I'm actually addicted to it. I'm just loving it. And just seeing the progress within my body is just profound. I'm loving that.
So how long would it have been ago when you were in a wheelchair and the doctors were telling you pretty much this is your life now?
17 years ago this November.
And they've given up on you.
It's really not that far when I think about it all. Yeah, a lot of people think 17 years it's taking you this long, but I could have done it a lot quicker. But it was learning along the way and learning the new type of things I needed to do to eradicate a lot of the problems I had with my body. And as you know, with natural health, it is a long journey, but you've got to be dedicated to do it all. You can't do it just halfway. You've got to do all of it.
And so this is a problem, isn't it? When people don't feel well, they go to their doctors, and we're hearing this more and more and more, that you basically get just put on medication and you become chronically sick, and the side effects then of that medication, then you're on something else. And so it doesn't seem that the medical professional are trained or capable or financially incentivized or willing to ever really discuss in depth the root cause of disease. And possibly because, without just being careful about what we say here, because actually we are seeing, aren't we, that a lot of disease is from pharmaceuticals. You get something that goes wrong, and it can be something, people have car accidents, people get some kind of, attack of some kind, and it can be something physical, and they get put on medication, and that medication helps them in the short term. And so the symptoms are masked and go away. And so, but this has not treated the root cause. And then as the symptoms start to come back, then the person and the doctors don't even seem to twig that actually the medication was just like masking what's going on.
Definitely.
It didn't cure them. This isn't a new thing coming on. This is what was already happening before, plus whatever's happening now by giving, petroleum-based drugs. I mean, this is what they are. They're all made of petrol of one shape or form. What do you think about that? Are you seeing that in what you're doing?
I mean, and a lot of people say to me, well, I've got fibromyalgia and you've got rid of it. How? And then, like, I'll say to them, well, I've detoxed. So they'll say, well, if I take one lot of detoxing pills, I'm going to be all great. No, you're not. It's a lifestyle change. And the thing is, I haven't been to the doctors now myself for over 4 years. I haven't needed to do, because they can't give me anything that I can't give myself. So all the drugs I took from them, all the pain relief drugs, that mimic something else anyway in my body, it was always my body that was telling me something, but I wasn't listening. So, you know, all these strong, horrible medications that eventually give you Alzheimer's later in life and do other horrible things to you. I was on all them horrible drugs. And it's taken my body a long time and put a lot of natural things in there to eradicate all this, what they've put in me. So, and I'm still on that road. I'm not saying I'm perfect, because I'm far from perfect. But I'm getting there, and I'm nearly there. I mean, I don't have pain in my body no more. I can walk, I can run, I can do anything I want to do now. I could climb a mountain if I wanted to do. You know, physically and mentally, I'm there. It's just when I look at myself, I'm still not 100% where I want to be. Most people will probably tell me, oh no, you are, but I'm not. I still, if I'm doing it, I'm doing it all. So yeah, I've still got another couple of stone to lose, and my body's still to tone up, and yeah. But,
I think that's a really fair point, isn't it? I mean, once you get into the hole that you ended up in, because of basically the way that I see it, Cal, is the medical profession did that to you. They gave you everything, and they did not give you the right advice to get out of it, and it's the side effects of their medication, which is really criminal when you think about it.
Yeah, do you remember I was always suffering with the bladder, the UTIs?
Yeah.
And I took your natural detox, and then I run out of the natural detox, and the bladder started to do it all over again. The minute I got back on your thing, your tablets, it was like just gone again. And now I don't get any problems at all now, because I've done more and more detoxing. So there was obviously other things still left there that needed to come out of my body.
And that's what I was going to say. And thank you very much for mentioning that. We're getting some really great results with the detox capsules, all natural ingredients.
They're amazing.
They've just got a broad spectrum, because I think you're absolutely right that once they've got you into this terrible condition that you were, and it broke my heart when you told me a story about, you showed pictures about what you look like. It was just like in constant agony. It was effectively torture, but that really does some deep-seated damage to your body. And although you can heal physically on the outside, lots of deep healing, and as you're still pointing out now, there's still some stuff after all this years of like medical abuse. I think the best way to describe what they did. Although of course they would never say that, would they? They would just say, well, the book told me to do it, and I was following the guidelines, and this is what my training says, and therefore it doesn't matter what happens to you. It doesn't matter how we destroyed your life and destroyed your health, because the book said I was allowed to do it.
And as long as they're still getting the money.
And that's where their accountabilities are. I couldn't know any better, because we actually, come on, this is the amazing thing about you. You have done so much research. You're now a fountain of knowledge, and people come to you and ask for advice. Now, you're not, and we're not like being doctors and prescribing things for people. We're giving people knowledge and pointing them in the right direction of natural medicine, right? So, but then it's up to them to take themselves on a journey. And I wondered if you could just discuss a bit. You know, you've turned from like patient to advocate, and I wondered if you discuss the sort of things that people come to you with, how you help them, and how this 360 has happened, or 180.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I get a lot of people asking me, and I'm no medical person. I just know what I've done personally myself, and it has been a long, hard journey. And I was a sugar freak, like a lot of people. You know, I was always into the sugars, and you have to eradicate everything. And I'm talking really take your body back to basics. You know, so the diet is one major thing. You know, eating a meal because it says it's 12 o'clock, you've got to eat that meal. No, you don't. You eat when you're hungry, but eat natural produce. And this is what I try and tell people all the time. You can't just detox with a pill or some black walnut and wormwood to get the parasites out if you're not going to do the extra to it. So the things that will help you are literally the 30% of things, but then the other 70 is yourself. So when you get up every day, you know, and you have your coffee and you pile sugar in that, you know, that's another bad thing that you're doing every single day, which I have now just eradicated coffee out of my life. I don't have coffee anymore, which I was a coffee connoisseur, you know, from beans to coffee every morning, and I piled the sugar in and I thought, oh, I'm putting natural sugar in, so it's fine, you know, and I was fooling myself. And this is what I try and tell people, you know, you can't do halfway, you've got to do the full lot. And if you really want something so badly, if you're waking up every single morning and you're feeling all that grogginess, I mean, I did with fibro, I felt like I was drunk every morning, and stumbling, and your body's sore, and you've got numbness here and numbness there and tingling everywhere, and you think, oh, you can't even go on the day now, you're just going to get back into bed and just chill. What kind of life is that? You know, I've got all that now, I've got rid of it all, and it's just like, wow, I feel alive every day I wake up. I can't wait for my journey to keep going and see where I get to next year. I'm excited for that because I've just eradicated everything. And I think once you get past that point of where you start to see the pains go and your body starts to feel healthy and you've got that energy, why do you want to go backwards? Keep going forwards and keep learning more. And this is what I tell people every single day. I get people with all sorts of issues down. It's mainly all gut issues. Where I was, it's you know, it's the IBS, the constant pain when they're eating a meal, or they've got arthritis, which is all, again, it's inflammation. And it all starts from the gut. You know, if they cleaned up the gut health, they'd start to see so much difference within them sort of problems. Like with me, I had rheumatoid, osteo, and everyone says, oh, you can't heal them. Well, I'm here. I'm walking. I'm using my hands and feet, and there's no problems anymore. So, you know, I've obviously, and there's no miracle drug you're gonna take that's gonna get rid of it, but it's a lifestyle change. It's the food, whatever you put in, you are what you eat, and that's exactly what it is.
Right, you know what? I'm just going to find something to show people on the screen, because I found something out today that I didn't know before. And this is how we're always constantly learning. We realise how much of our how much of the information that we're given is just nonsense. Let me just share the screen. Let's have a look. Share screen. What the interesting page. There we go. Right, so nightshade vegetables. Right, and what I found out about nightshade vegetables is they contain nicotine. Nicotine isn't just in nicotine plants. And you know, when I found this out today, I was like, well, of course it isn't. Why would only one plant have nicotine?
Yeah, I've been looking into this.
Nicotine, so nicotine is anti-inflammatory, and therefore it's a pain relief. But what's very interesting is when they put you on lifelong drugs for arthritis treatment, which obviously do not treat because you have to have them a lifetime, they tell you to avoid all of these nightshade plants because they say it makes it worse. I mean, this stuff is criminal. I mean, I just don't know how else to say this. I mean, look, is in my screen, scrolling, you can see nightshade alkaloids. They've got a big ring with a nitrogen atom derived from amino acids. You've got solanine, caspasine, nicotine. Look. So obviously, if there's large quantities of some of these, this is where deadly nightshade has too much of it. Obviously, it's going to you're going to have a bad effect. But it does depend on, you know, you can't just throw the baby out with the dishwasher. So we've got some, you know, some potential contraindications here and some sensitivities. But again, this is exactly what you're saying. If you've got a leaky, poor gut, putting these kind of, medicinal vegetables in your gut is not going to help you because there's something wrong with your gut, like you're talking about. And here's some nightshade vegetables which helps you to adjust your new diet and things like this, like sweet potatoes, yam, purple potatoes. Isn't that interesting? Yam, because yam and maca root, I wouldn't be surprised if it's in maca root, that helps balance your hormones out. It's really good. Like ladies in other countries where they have a lot of yam, they don't have any experience any of the change at all, like no menopause symptoms. So you've got all these, and I find cauliflower is quite interesting. When I eat cauliflower, so I really love cauliflower, and when I eat it raw, it staves off hunger. And you know what else is a nightshade vegetable? Cayenne pepper. And haven't we heard wonderful things about cayenne pepper?
It's amazing, isn't it? It's amazing.
And I had to point out, because there was some people in the truther movement talking about nicotine, and they were just really sharing some memes about potentially what nicotine could do, and something to do with nanobots and things like this. And I've since debunked this, because people are trying to justify their habit of smoking. And as we know, smoking, just nicotine plants, not bad for you. What's bad is the 80 or so carcinogens that have been deliberately in the cigarettes. So but if nicotine is good, when you ingest something and when you inhale it anyway, it goes into different pathways in your body. So nicotine, good. Smoking it, and smoking like the branded cigarettes, bad. But you can ingest this stuff. And so I wonder if you could share what you've been finding out about the nightshade plants, because it seems like a...
Well, can I just show you something? Can I just get something, yeah?
We didn't really know where we end up with this conversation, but we always have. Oh, what you got?
So I've got a tobacco plant.
Great.
So I've got my own.
Fantastic.
So I got loads of seeds, tobacco seeds, and so yeah, basically, so I can dry out my own leaves. My neighbour started to grow them, and he's got loads now. But yeah, so I was watching about the nicotine, and I was watching, is it Dr. Brian? His findings of it. He's on Rumble, absolutely amazing. So basically, we have got nicotine already within our bodies, but it needs activating by different foods that we eat. And also, the people that have taken the thing, what we're on about in the arm, he was saying that a lot of this nanobots can be replenished by having the nicotine.
Although I've seen another scientist and she's shown his results and it doesn't.
It doesn't, right, okay.
So,
yeah.
This would surprise me if it does, but I'm not saying it doesn't. But what we're saying is have the natural version, because we're telling you right now, going to buy the branded stuff, it's not even nicotine, and this is GM. These are GM crops. You haven't got a clue what you're having, but you have, because you're growing your own, right? Yeah. Different kind of fish, right?
Yeah. You see, I have got some nicotine patches. Obviously, they're not going to be pure nicotine. Nothing is, because it's from Big Pharma. But I don't know if it helps or not, but I have been trying, just even though, I don't know if it's going to help or not, but I have cut them down. So you're only taking so many milligrams of the nicotine instead of just putting a big patch on my arm, So I've cut it down to a couple of milligrams and then just sticking them on that way. Whether it's doing anything, I've only been doing it a week, so we'll see. I'll let you know the results of that one.
Yeah, so, don't you think it's interesting, Kelly? Now we've just found out there's nicotine in lots of vegetables. Do you know?
Yeah.
Now,
you would have never thought it, would you?
Yeah, no, but sure, but you would have now. There isn't just one plant with it in. I mean, all plants have everything in. We've figured this out in this journey, haven't we? That all the the red coloured plants have certain chemicals in, or the purpley ones, etc., etc. Right, we have figured this out, and as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh my God, how stupid! How did you not know that? But I think this is the great reveal as our eyes have been opened. But really, what you'd say to if people were addicted to nicotine, which is what they would like us to believe,
which is not addictive.
Smoking program and all those videos would mention, oh, by the way, don't eat these vegetables because otherwise you're going to get your daily dose of nicotine and you might be addicted, right? And don't eat too many cauliflower, you might become addicted to
the nicotine.
It's bullshit, right?
Yeah, because it's not the nicotine you're addicted to. Nicotine isn't addictive. It's what they did was, I don't know if it was in the 1930s or something, when they discovered nicotine, they made it addictive by putting the chemical into the cigarettes to make that addictive. So people will carry on buying the cigarettes to give them more money. Because as we know, I mean, look at the price of a pack of cigarettes. Absolutely disgusting now, isn't it? And the amount of money that they make off just that one packet. But people think that they're addicted to it, but it's not. It's the chemical that is actually in the cigarette.
I mean, it's like fast foods as well. It's like, really back in the day, like, I don't know, 20 years ago when I had McDonald's, never used to have it very often, but you had one and you craved it the next day. This stuff's legal.
It's insane. It's mad, isn't it? How I walk into supermarkets though now, and I look about, and everything just looks toxic. Everything. I can't look at things in the same way anymore. And the next big step I'm going to take when I can afford to do it is I'm going to get rid of all my metal that I used to eat with, the same as my plates. I want to eat from wooden bowls, and just get rid of the knives and forks, because that's another thing. We're eating off a knife and fork every single day. It's like, why? What we're doing, what we're putting into our bodies. And I know some people think that's crazy, but if you're going to do this, do it right, and get rid of all them toxicities that we're surrounded by every single day, because that's the build-up of why you're unwell. The
build-up, absolutely. And just to bring back on what you were just saying about, food quality. I mean, I went down to I very rarely go to the local shops because I'm really lucky. I've got a biodynamic organic farm down the road, and I go there. But I also bring stuff in online, because we have to create the new businesses. And I see a lot of people going, I can't believe Tesco isn't taking cash, and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, you know what? You're awake. It's you have to create these new businesses. There's nowhere for people to go. What do you expect? So we have to support all of these new farming communities that come up, all these shops, and all this, the roots allotment, guys, and all those. We have to support them. Now, you support them by, going out of your way to go and find the products that they're making and bring them in. It is not as simple as driving down to Tesco. It's not.
No, it's not.
The new earth, the new economy. You cannot expect a car-owned, a pharmaceutical-owned, a petroleum-owned company not to be putting its products on its shelves. And that's what
I mean, and the thing is as well, it's like, take us back to years ago when you'd only get like a turnip, for instance, at winter time, certain seasons where you get different vegetables. So, that to me that's the normal. That's how it's supposed to be, because nothing's then rushed to be grown. I go to the Asian supermarket, which is very local to me. I have to get in the car and drive there, but I know I'm getting decent things. And I mean, to find proper seeded grapes and the huge big black grapes and proper avocados, which what I've done now is I got 2 avocados last week. So I took the big pip out, and they was really big, the pips as well. So what I've done is, I'll show you. I've grinded the pips up now. So what I'll do is put 2 teaspoons of that in with some hot water and then sieve it off. And the properties from avocado seeds, amazing. I chopped a bit of the avocado seed up as well. And I've added a bit of this, the grated as well, into a jar with some alcohol rub, 70% proof alcohol, and it's for pain. So I'll give it to somebody who was in pain, and they can rub it on, and it'll help with just Yeah, and it's not a pain that they've got, and it's natural, you know, and it's so easy, really.
I'm just looking at which, right, let's have a look. So the other one, let's get into vitamin B17, shall we? B17, also known as amygdalin, is a compound found in certain seeds and plants. It's found in apricots, cherries, peaches, and things like this. Okay, and also let me just find it here. Yeah, bitter. Let me just share my screen.
Is that the bitter apricot seeds? That's what I take.
Yes, that's right, but it isn't just apricot seeds. You find in B17 now. Lots of people are deficient in B17.
Yeah, and you get in cherries as well, can't you?
You go and look at, you know, the Heart Association or Cancer Research UK or the government or the NHS. They won't even talk about B17. Now, and this is why we don't know stuff, because it's not taught to the medics. It's not taught in any there. Let me just share my screen again. B7. The reason why we're hearing so much about B17 and apricot seeds. Let me see if I can make this a bit bigger. Hold on. Is because apricot seeds is very thing. I just did our avocado seeds got B17. It doesn't look like it does, but but there's quite a lot of ones like bitter almonds, raw almonds, macadamia nuts, vegetables, carrots, celery, bean sprouts, mung beans, lima beans, butter beans, millet, flaxseed, buckwheats, pits of apples, plums, apricots, cherries, and pears. Now, this is where so you don't just have to have apricot seeds, although that's very, very rich in it. Is there otherwise? Now, a lot of these seeds as well, they contain cyanin, which is why you always get told don't eat apple pips.
Yeah, that's why I only have 2 a day. Yeah.
But yeah, so you have to, you know, be careful how much you have. And I understand it's something like 200 apple pips you have to have before you're hitting dangerous levels. But obviously it's you can't know. And this is where, you know, the nut oils, you know, not the nut oils, nut oils. This is why you have to be careful with them, how much of these benefits and pros and cons, because you've got to have everything in balance. But also milks, nut milk. Like, you know, 100 ml of nut milk, I can't remember. It's got a lot of like almond nuts, for instance. A body's not supposed to have that many almond nuts.
No.
It's not good for you. So, but when you can make it in this concentrated form, and then you mix it in with tea, so you end up with 100 mils a day. This is why people are getting sick. They're having the wrong quantities of food, because once they're processed, it's very easy to put them in. And then what happens is these foods get told that they are, you know, they're dangerous, you shouldn't have them. But the big thing here is, guys, have a look and see what fruit and vegetables have nicotine in. Have a look see what's got B17 in. These are really important for, you know, vitamins that you need in your body. And the other one that we're just talking about today, just about minerals we need. Do you know lithium? Right? People think lithium is for, you know, people with bipolar, and it's like an extra mineral that they're putting in. Actually, not having enough lithium in your diet is linked to depression, bipolar, you know, schizophrenia, etc., etc. And what we're seeing is that there's a chronic lack of vitamins and minerals in people's diets because of the processed food they're taking, because they're going to supermarkets and they're growing food on mineral deficient soils, and then the plants aren't bringing up these minerals, and then nobody's talking. The doctors and medical professionals and government and NHS are not talking about it. So they're like, oh, well, this has got B6 and you know B12, and that seems okay. But they don't know about how much magnesium we should have. Don't know about how much lithium we should have. Do you know we're supposed to have trace elements of gold and silver? These are our trace elements, rubidium, all of these, but you never hear about them, right?
I know. It's crazy, really, when, you know, people just don't seem to have a clue what they're putting in their bodies. And I'll tell you what annoys me in supermarkets is, like you say, about the milk products. So, I mean, I've gone on, because I only have milk now in my tea, if I have a normal tea, and I have lactose free. But, you know, all these other milks, almond milk, and there's so many different ones. And I just think I don't believe in any of them. I really don't. I just don't like any of them.
So,
I don't know what your thoughts are.
No, I don't have any of that. And I used to have only used to have 1 cup of tea a day. Now I just don't. I don't have any. If I have herbal tea, I'll have that structure. You know, the big thing, Cal, and we keep coming back to this: clean water, structured water. The biggest impact you can have is having clean, structured water and putting minerals in. And if you just put Celtic sea salt, you've got 82 of your minerals. If you can add some, I always say it the wrong way, like orsis, you know, colloidal gold.
Colloidal gold and silver,
colloidal gold, colloidal silver, but colloidal gold has also got minerals in it. And these have got some of the rare minerals, which you don't see a lot of. Adding those, which is why people then go for sea moss. The reason why sea moss is so good for you is because it's grown in the sea and there's loads of minerals in the sea. So this is why they're full of minerals. So once you've got the right water and the right minerals, then you start worrying about everything else. But I don't know about you. I see too many people jump to a supplement without getting the basics right. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. They seem to just think that we need vitamin D, vitamin C, all the normal vitamins, but that's it. That's all they think. And then they go and get the vitamins from the GP, which, as we know, you're probably only getting 10% of the vitamin anyway, because they've got all the bulking agent in. So,
I saw that on your page the other day as well. Yeah,
because I stopped all that many, many years ago. I went and bought my own, and anyone can source it. We've all got local shops that do, natural. I mean, I don't go to Holland and Barrett. There's odd stuff in Holland and Barrett I don't mind, but a lot of it I've got bulking agent yet again. So
I think this is the thing. There's a lot of people now on this journey. Now, I was thinking about it today because I hand make the detox capsules that I do, and I do a few different varieties, and also I bring in like organic maca root and things like this. And someone said to me, says, "What are you going to do when you get too many orders for you to be able to cope with?" And I said, "Actually, I don't know, because
it's up to me."
Yes, it was okay, but we're going to have to kind of work together, because the love that I put in it, the hand making it, I think this is what makes them so strong. And as soon as you start mass manufacturing, now what I've noticed, and this is something for people to be aware of, right? There's companies like Nutribulk, and there's a couple of other 2 or 3 companies around the country, right? They are making the products for everybody. You think they're different brands, and they're not, because they white label. Now, that's okay, right? But you have to understand that you might be buying your products from such and such with their own brand, but they're not necessarily hand making them. I'm not saying that is a problem, but I'm saying that the source of ingredients is really important. And there's lots of good companies coming through now that are not using these giant sort of industrialized methods of making this stuff. They're still at a scale where they haven't taken the life force energy out of the tablets, right? And that's what you need to look at. So I don't know if you've noticed what me and other Kelly have been doing, because we've been testing the bioforce energy of foods.
Been seeing that.
Yeah,
so, it's amazing.
So we're going to be showing people more of this, because people say, is this good and this is that good? And I'm like, well, I don't know everything, but you can test it yourself. You can get a pendulum and you can feel the life force energy. And I think the more people that start to do that, the more that they will realize that the stuff without life force energy, it makes you hungry, because it's not giving you anything, which is why when we go abroad and we have proper food and proper vegetables,
that's when we feel alive.
We do. And you know what? I don't know if you saw this the other day as well, Cal. I wonder what your thoughts on this are. And it's just getting you just a gut reaction.
Go on.
I was thinking, when you ground and you're connected to the earth, as you're a battery, you're recharging this battery. And this is why in the summer, and when you're on holiday and things like that, you don't need to eat as much, because you're being regenerated from the sun and the ground. And that's why
you're on the beach as well.
Yeah. It's all about
barefooted most of the time. And you know what, as well, on holiday, a lot of the places don't use concrete.
They don't, because concrete, we've measured people's bioforce energy with shoes on and on concrete. On concrete, it's better than having your shoes on, but it's not like being
It's
grounded.
still not great. Yeah, because there's a poison in concrete.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
And
it's not
a lot of
great.
the concrete jungles and the new houses as well are so insulated. They're not grounded. These houses are basically plastic boxes, which is why when you get, your fruit and vegetables and your leftovers, when you put them in a plastic container, they don't last very long because it unstructures the water. That's what plastic does. But when you put it in glass, it lasts for a long time, right?
Yeah, it's like me with my water. Once it's gone through the distiller, it's in the big Kilner jars, with the tap on. So I've got 3 big glass jars over there with all the water in. So yeah, I couldn't bear to put it in plastic. I couldn't bear.
I've found, so I've seen some people like they go to Buxton spring water and they fill up with plastic. That's all they've got, and bring it back. And I say, look, as long as you decant it within 2 days or drink it within 2 days, then you'll still have a structure in there. But the beautiful thing about structured water anyway is when I've got concentrated structured water. So I've got bottles which I either structured myself or I keep them going, because if you put 1 or 2 drops of structured water in not structured water, you restructure it. But of course, if it's in plastic container, that process isn't going to happen. But it will. You go and put it in your in your glass, and then put a drop.
My next little mission, which I've got in the pipeline. Well, already that I'm starting to study and do a quantum hypnotherapy course.
Yes.
So I've started that as well, which I never thought I'd get where I am. I'm just like, I think I'm really overwhelmed at the moment by everything, because I'm doing quite a lot.
You do.
But also, a friend brought me some copper wire, and I just sat here one day looking at it and I thought, right, I just really want to make something with that copper wire. So I ended up making a couple of rings, and I've got one on now. So I don't know if you can see.
Yeah.
So I made my own copper ring. And now I've been tempted, because I was so passionate about doing this and put loads of love into it. I've now ordered loads more copper wiring, different gauge sizes and stuff. And I've ordered the tools to be able to wind it and that. And I'm going to start doing it with my crystals, and hopefully to make my own pieces and put online. So watch this.
I was just thinking, I think I made this one. There's nothing like made your own, and you, Kelly, so
I just can't wait to do it. I just feel so excited, I was never creative ever in my other life, and it was like, I feel like I've just swapped who I am, because the creativity now is like, yes. So
Kelly 2.0. It's Kelly Heinsohn's Kelly 2.0 as well. So now you're both Kelly 2, but it's like you've been reborn.
Yeah, that's what I feel like, Joe. Serious. It's amazing.
And your demeanor and your glow is just.
I look back at who I was, and I just think, was that really me? I look back at the pictures even, because I've done some comparison pictures, because as you know, I had ME and fibro, and I had the dark lines under my eyes, which are nearly going. That can take a long time to go. I'm doing everything right. I'm putting everything good within my body. I'm using natural face oils and making my own and stuff. And I'm doing everything I should be doing. So I know in time that will just go. But when I actually just look at myself in the mirror, you get out of the shower and you look at yourself and you think, wow, is that my body? I just think, I can't believe it. I've never been able to look at myself and love me.
Oh.
But I can now. And I can see the difference I'm making to myself. And it's me that's doing that. And it's not for nobody else. That's for me. And I just can't wait to be able to get away on holiday and get that bikini on and show myself off now, because I know it's great, because I've done that for me.
Let me just go to the comments for a minute.
Yeah, go on.
There's a comment just come in, Callum. They're looking forward to your bikini pictures. I'm joking. So Crazy Blind Man 69, my good friend Mark, who is the blind man, but he knows more about natural health. He can go out foraging more than any person I've ever seen.
Oh wow, that's my next mission, foraging.
distance Reiki healer, Reiki master, absolutely very, very incredible guy. And he was saying he was taking, because he also had cancer, he's beaten cancer. He was taking 20 apricot seeds a day. And then he was talking about putting the supplements, using some Reiki, the same with some water and any food. So he's like supercharging his food. And I want to talk water, and the food's got water, and I want to talk about that in a minute. And then the Jolly Man says, what about storing water in silver or copper? So
I've got copper bottles as well.
Yeah, I think those things in small amounts are great. But if you think about how water should be stored, it's either in glass or in ceramics. Remember, it used to be like in pots. And that's how water should be. That's really how water should be.
I've got a copper water bottle just to go out with. And I've got it in my bedroom at the minute, because if I want a drink, it's there. So, but I don't have massive amounts.
Is not good for you. Too much copper isn't good for you. And so, you got to be, you got to be mindful about these things. And also what I found is, by the way, people say, how do you structure your water? There's lots of different ways. The moon will structure your water when you put it in a glass bottle. If you get a copper rod or a copper spoon and you stir, create a bit of a vortex, your water, it will become structured. It does not take that long. I've got a vortexer and I make it go really crazy.
Have you got a magnetic plate as well? The turning plate? Yeah, because I looked at one because I was meant to get it, and somebody nicked it. It didn't get sent to me, so eBay sent me the money back. But basically, I was getting one, so then I could put the copper rod in, and it'd be on a magnetic plate which would turn at the same time. And they're not that much to buy.
Yeah, but you could do that. But actually, if you're out and about, and I usually take copper dowsing rods out with me.
Yeah.
So then I use just give it a bit of a clean. Use my copper dowsing. That will actually structure your water. And people say, how do you know? Well, there's different. Once you've done a few experiments, you start getting confident. So what I did to prove this to myself, has it got life force energy? Is it living? I got water that I treated in different ways, because I have a number of different things and experiments that I'm doing all the time. And I put a glass dish, and I put some tissue in, and I put 10 seeds in each. Then I put water from each of those different experiments, and then looked at the germination. Now, tap water didn't germinate, just filtered water didn't really germinate very well. But the ones that germinated extremely well was one in a zinc line copper jug, vortex, and other experiments. So I know, because you can see the life force energy in the plant. They will get bigger if you feed the plants experiment. But the seed germination is quick and easy. But there's something else that me and Kelly Heinsohn, so Kelly 2.0 Heinsohn, was going to look at. And this is something we sent to you the other day. Because I'm going to get in front of the camera. That's the only thing about this thing. Actually, I've just got it in the center. There's biofield defense disc. Have you managed to open yours yet, Kel?
It's on my phone.
Is it? Great.
I can't show you because it's on the back of my phone.
Brilliant. Because me and Kelly have been measuring the life force energy of food, of people under different scenarios. And your life force energy really represents how much life force you've got in you, right? And there are things around you that deplete your life force energy. And in quantum physics term, it's a signal going anti-clockwise. And anything that's going positively and up and raising your vibration is going clockwise. Things like polyester, plastics, anything not natural is either dead or it's negative spin. So your job every day, if you want to stay the same, is to have a balance of all the negative crap around you and all the positive crap, right? Positive good things, and that sort of crap, right? But in our environment, we have many things bringing us down. But you can do something about it, and that is eating food that is alive and living, structured water, and also one of the biggest culprits we've seen is on mobile phones. We've measured that when people hold their mobile phone, their aura or their bioforce energy comes right into their body, and it's either very small or it's not there. And this is a shame. We're seeing kids, being given iPads and things like this. I was just as guilty. If I would have seen what was happening to them, I'd be like horrified. But that's what created these stickers.
I don't even put mine in my pocket anymore. Yeah. I used to put it in my pocket all the time, and then I see these other girls that are putting it in the bras, and I just think,
that's not working, is it? But what these things harmonise with your field, and when we come up and see you, Kel, we're going to measure your field, because you don't have to have those concerns anymore. I mean, we don't think it's a good idea to have these things around if you don't need them, and I turn mine off at night, etc. But what it's doing is it's harmonising your own field effectively, and the frequencies that Kelly Heinsohn 2.0 has put in is for nature. It effectively grounds you. And one of the experiments, and I wondered if you could give us some feedback that we're going to be doing now, is, does it affect your appetite? I want you to have a think about whether it will affect your appetite. Because there's a good case to say that because you are losing less life force energy a day, you should feel more sort of nourished. So if you can keep us posted on that, Kelly, that would be marvellous.
Yeah, I will do. Yeah, definitely.
Good shot. Because we can't walk around the earth all day, can we? Because it's cold, and I don't like putting my feet out and getting wet. So, is there anything else that you'd like to bring up before we
No, I think just people need to be mindful that they're just not going to do it by just simple medication. You've just got to change everything, and I mean everything: deodorants down to toothpaste, down to washing liquids, you name it. Everything you touch on a daily basis has chemicals in. And unless you get rid of all them and change it to natural, and everyone's going to come at me and say, oh, but it's so expensive. Well, I'm no rich person. I hardly have enough money to last me the week. But you know what? I live better now with the natural stuff than I did before. And now I don't need all these tins and all these packets and stuff to cook with. If I've got a few vegetables and a bit of avocado oil, I can just cook a bit of something with that. That's a meal for me. So, just buy something every week. Buy something every single week, even if it's down to some natural herbs. Like I bought my different herbs every other week. I got my dandelions, I got my soursop, all different things, my nettle teas, and just make a thing every week just to buy something. Buy extra salt, your good salts, and just buy it weekly. That's what I can say. A question for you, Joe, I was going to ask you, which I keep meaning to message you about, was about milk thistle. How much milk thistle can you take a day? So like the 2 point, is it the capsules, the same capsules as you do?
They've only got 150 milligrams in. They're quite small, so you can take much higher doses than that. But it depends on your body weight, and it depends on what else you're having, because it is a liver cleanse, and there are other things then that might challenge your liver. So it's quite a small amount. But what I say to people, let's say people are really intoxicated. This is my process. Is I will say to people, a month on distilled, if they're really, because we're working with someone right now, aren't we, Cal? Really supporting, who was injured. And but now he's on so much medication that we think that his disability is due to the medication. It's not really to do with that initial medical procedure.
We're taking it slowly with him, aren't we? Changing things.
So really,
slowly with him.
Exactly. So I would say keys are structured water and minerals first, and cutting stuff out of your diet is just as important, putting stuff in. But then what I'm going to give him is the suggest that he takes anyways, the anti-inflammatory, which has got nattokinase, dandelion root, black seed, the ground black seed, inactivated, and diatomaceous earth. So I'll even tell him to take that for a month before he even tries the detox capsules. That's because his liver has been under so much stress because of, being prescribed paracetamol a day on top of everything else. I am just
good, is it? It's no good.
He's a fighter, he is, because that's enough to
Can I just say, Jo, that all my WhatsApp group are on your detoxing capsules?
Oh, thank you, Sue, love. Oh,
They're amazing, and they all love them. They all love them. So, but yeah, I mean, so the person that I'm helping as well, my own at the moment, they're really, really tired at the minute. But I think it may be because I don't know if with the energies that we've got as well.
Yeah.
But basically, they're on the detox capsules. Mm-hmm. But what I've done is then I've made up some milk thistle tablets for them.
Okay.
They're the 2.2. Is it 2.2 or something like the capsules that I've got? I'm not sure. Yeah, I think the 2. Let me just have a double check, Jo, so I can tell you.
And by the way, this is how we all work. All of us, if you go to our group, we swap information like this and
size 0.
All right, yeah.
0 ones, yes. I've been filling the capsules up, and told him to take one of those a day as well. He's also on the oregano oil. That's another. Oh, serious! I can't express enough to people about oregano oil. It's done wonders for me and wonders for a lot of people as well. I've been helping people, telling them to get the oregano oil capsules. 100% pure oregano oil, absolutely amazing. So yeah, and he's just tired, constantly tired. So I said to him, it could be that all the junk was going into your liver. So I give him milk thistle to see if that helps at all. But obviously it's going to take a bit of time. So, but yeah, I just didn't know how much I could give him. So I've done 1 capsule a day at the moment on the 0 capsules.
Yeah, just double check and see what the because there are guidelines for milk thistle. It just depends on how strong it is as well.
Yeah.
But you know, if that was too strong and you wanted to make some capsules like with half, I've found you don't need as much milk thistle as what the guidelines are. You need very little as long as you take it regularly. But you could, for instance, put in that capsule milk thistle and something else like nattokind.
Can you put some cayenne pepper in with it?
Well, yes, that's vitamin B17. It's the best thing for you, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm thinking, because I can't take cayenne pepper on its own because it's so strong. I don't do hot foods. Yeah. I'm quite blessed because I'm quite a natural person when it comes to things like that. And I can't take hot foods, which I'm glad of, because then I don't reach out for takeaways. So, but no, what I was thinking of doing tomorrow is making some capsules up with cayenne pepper in. So maybe I could do the milk thistle and the cayenne pepper together then.
Don't see why not. Have a little research of it, because I haven't done that combination before myself, so I haven't looked into it. But yeah, sounds great. And you're right, cayenne pepper having a capsule form is probably the way to go. Although I would say I did listen to somebody else's cayenne pepper recipe, and it worked out all right. And this is what it is. It's you get some coconut oil. You know this. You know the full stuff, not the not
the liquid one.
Not liquid one, yeah. So it's chunky. So you melt that, like a cup, I think. You put some cayenne pepper in. You put some sea salt in, and then you put some lemon juice, or lime, and then you let it solidify. Now that sounds disgusting, doesn't it? But it balances out quite nicely.
Yeah, well, I know another one where they put the sea salt or the Celtic salt. So they put the Celtic salt, ground cloves, the same again, coconut oil, but obviously the hardened one, you know, when it goes, what is it though? And cayenne pepper. And they did that as a shot. And anybody that needs to do a proper master cleanse of the body, they was doing it every couple of hours. So, and through the whole day for a couple of days, but don't eat anything else. Just be doing that and drinking water, well, the structured water, obviously, and that gives your body a good clean out.
Right. I'm just answering this question here, Kelly, but that was those like master cleanses are really good, and especially first thing in the morning. And the other thing that I've started doing first thing in the morning is pickled onions.
Pickled onions.
Because and this is the other, you know, when you just start reasoning, why haven't I done this before? But you know, when you want to wake up in the morning, the reason why people need to
balance the acid
is because this is what gives you your energy in the morning. It's your hydrogen ions. It's your battery, and you need these negative ions in your stomach. That's what's generating this toroidal field, and that gets you going. That's really help wake me up in the morning.
I either have a green tea when I wake up, like I had this morning, or I do my lemon, my raw lemon, raw ginger, and a bit of natural honey. So, or I have that, or I have other herbal teas that I can have as well. I've got my mullein. In fact, I've just ordered mullein off my friend who's foraged his own, and there's no twigs in it either, nothing. It's really fluffy and it's amazing.
Wow.
So yeah,
the lemon in the water and that drink that you just said, that is acidic. That's got the hydrogen ions in it.
Well, there you go then.
And so someone talked to me about, what is this is a very final thing we'll say before we go, because we're getting on one, aren't we? Is when people talk about alkaline diet, they don't necessarily mean you put alkaline in your stomach, because your body, your membranes flip it. So when you have a glass of water with lemon in it, that's alkalizing. But if you were to test the water, you would find it's acidic.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is what people are
Just
getting.
One more thing then for me to say. Yeah. Sorry to put you off. Instead of, when you do the master cleanse, instead of lemons, use key limes.
Key limes.
Key limes are amazing. They're very tiny, look like limes, but they're very tiny. And they've got so much more properties than a lime or a lemon. They're really, really good for you. So there you go.
Do you know, actually that recipe that I gave before, you should have used key limes, but I can't find any, so I'm on the hunt.
They're at my they're usually in the Asian supermarkets.
They're not daft, are they? They realised when they came over here that they can't eat food because it's toxic. So they created their own food supply. And this is what we should be doing.
Yeah.
Tesco ain't doing it for us, kids. So let's try it. Brilliant.
Not with a little bit of bananas anyway. But anyway.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
If anybody wants to find out what this wonderful woman is doing, because she's got so much advice, so many things she's talking about, and she's been there and done it, please find Kel Porteus on Facebook, on TikTok. What are you on TikTok, Kel? What's
TikTok, Awakening 555.
Awakening 555. She's always got great advice. She's always extremely positive. So please reach out to Kel. She's wonderful. So thank you very much for being on.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you, Jill. Bye. 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 Bye.